exist on both sides.
Go ahead, Luna.
I just wanted to address the primary question I was asked. I believe that it all falls on a woman, but like starting with a woman who is his mother, because I feel like it's like naturally a trait from for a man to be a leader. But if a mother like suppresses that in her son, and then he grows up and sees women that do the same thing, then one, he wouldn't be able to like express his leadership, and another part of it goes into the whole aspect of like women shouldn't be picking the men should be picking the women, and you attract what you are. So if you attract a man that is not leading, that just means that you were never open to be led in the first place, if that makes sense.
Mm.
Like submission is already within you. So if you're not a submissive woman, you're not going to attract a man that's going to lead you, because God would be wasting his time at that point, if that makes sense. Because you're not going to listen to his leadership in the first place.
Hmm.
What does a mother suppressing their son's leadership look like? What does that look like?
It looks like multiple different things: not allowing your son to express himself fully, shutting him down, not being emotionally available, things of that nature.
Are you a mother, Luna?
I am not.
Oh,
Does that matter? I'm just wondering.
it does because you said most things as if you are a
But I
mother.
have two brothers that I've witnessed grow up and be raised by a mother, and I
Oh,
also
okay.
have multiple. I mean, we've all
So that's
witnessed
what your
men
mother
being
did to
raised.
your. That's what your mother did to your brothers.
No, not at all. Both of my brothers are great leaders. I'm just saying, we can all bear witness to black mothers in the black community basically belittling their sons and not allowing their sons to be express themselves to their fullest potential. Like
Well,
that's
you
just not
you
a
put
thing
a
in the
blanket
black culture.
statement and you said most mothers, and then you said most black mothers.
Hmm. That's what she said. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I
Yeah,
still stand on that. I'm not going to retract the statement. That's the truth.
you don't have to retract it. I'm just saying, understand what you're saying because you're saying that all of us that are black mothers, we fall into the most category because you're saying most.
Majority, yes. You don't have to be part of that majority, but if you feel
I'm
you
not part
are,
of the
then
majority because I am raising a black son and I don't do that with them. But I just, I when you send out your message and you say that it's most, you're putting majority of us in the box.
because it is the majority. That's my point.
But you don't know the majority because you only know what you've been around. And if
But
you
we can also bear witness to
unless you've been to
majority.
all four corners of the earth and every single state in the United States to see all black mothers, you don't know.
But we can see the results of black mothers raising black men, and if the
So,
results are
but then
black
we go
men
back to the
are
original
single.
question. So we're going to go back to the original question, which was, what's the real issue? Men not being good leaders or the unwillingness of a woman to follow? So if that's the case, if majority of black women are raising or suppressing black boys from being leaders, then we got to go back to the answer, and that is basically men. Is that what you're saying?
No, the answer is women, because the women are suppressing the black men, starting from the home, starting from the mother. The
Again,
mother
But,
can't
but I
even be
thought the
open
rhetoric
to.
has been. Oh, sorry. I thought the rhetoric
Go
has
ahead.
been we've been coddling them. You know, we do. They are emotional, so it seems we're actually allowing their emotions to come out. So I'm just trying to figure out which one is it. Are we suppressing them or are we coddling them and allowing them to be too emotional?
Um,
Which YouTube talking point are you finna? You know, which one you going with today?
Being emotional and being emotionally intelligent are two different things. Being emotional is probably a result of the mother failing the son, because a mother should teach her son how to be emotionally intelligent. Being emotionally intelligent is completely different, because you can observe yourself feeling emotions but not let your emotions lead you blindly. A good leader, a man that is a good leader, is emotionally intelligent. Therefore, he does not let his emotions lead him blindly. So,
But you got to realize a lot of things just happen naturally. People are born just to who they are. A lot of people on this earth have never had parents at all, a mother nor a father teach them anything, but it's just who they are. So the YouTube rhetoric has been off. It's just been off. It's not correct information. It's just not.
Okay.
Caprice, I feel like you wanted to get in on that. What's your thought?
My camera and my mic kind of went out, so am I still good?
Yeah.
Okay. It was kind of in and out. I'm sorry, but what Luna was saying is, are you saying that? Are you answering the question, or are we like kind of like going off on what you were talking about?
Well, Luna was saying the reason, she was just basically saying the reason why it's the women is because these so-called bad men, bad leaders, they've been raised up by women, and the women stifle their growth in that area, and so they are what they are because they're not raising good sons.
Right. Okay. So when you were asking her about the statement that she said, I think we get too hooked up on like titles, and we get numbers and we get stats by generalizations. So yes, you may not fall into that category, but the Black mother who does do that represents us. So yes, my husband and I, we have 2 sons. And when it comes to emotions, I don't tell our 2 sons anything about it. My husband usually deals with it. So what Luna is saying, the numbers actually back up what she's saying, because our boys are being raised, our Black boys are being raised in single mother households, and so they're emotional because they're being raised by their mothers. They're not getting that logical aspect of of how to maneuver around in the world. So I think that's, correct me if I'm wrong, Luna. Is that what you were saying?
That's pretty much exactly what I was saying.
I totally understood what she was saying. What I was saying was, if you're going to speak in majority, then you need to be able to speak from a perspective of what you have seen in the majority. Now, if she's coming from stats, she could say the stats, but that's not what she said. And then when I asked her to clarify information, do she have children? She said, no, but I see my brothers. And then I said, okay, so did your mother do this? No, my brothers are great leaders. So when she makes that general statement, she's making a general statement off of stats, but you're bringing it back on women. When I first said that the fact of the matter is there are a multitude of men that do not have leadership capabilities. And it was a no, that's not the case. And that is the case because, as I originally stated, there are men that do not know how to lead.
But whose fault is that?
Well, it could be a series of, as Sis said, it could be anything. It have to bear fault. If you're going to bear fault, and I said this the other day, if you're going to bear fault on one parent, you're definitely going to have to bear fault on the other one for not being in existence. And however that reasoning is, whether it is he was forced out the household, or the woman took the child, or whatever the case is, as a parent, you understand that whether you're in a 2-parent household, you're in a 1-parent household, there are 2 parents that create children. It's not just one. And so again, I bear the fault on both parents because there isn't a man in the household. And in some cases, yes, there are women that go out of their way to make sure their child is not around their father. Yes, there are some men that walk out of the household and forget that they have children and go create more children. Yes, there are women that abandon their children. But the reality is we have to put the onus on both parents that are not in existence to raising.
Hey, bro, just because I was going, don't mean you could say some, and I'm gonna let it slide, right?
Okay.
So if you let's just use the numbers real quick. So, you have 70% born out of wedlock, right? Out of that 70%, 42% have fathers, right? So when you look up the number, it's still the majority that are born out of wedlock and don't have fathers, right? And so then Luna's just citing the results of these men. That's why she's implicating the women over the men, because the men aren't there, right? And the women are raising these children.
So again, the onus
when you
is
said stats, because you said stats, but nobody got a chance to address it.
If you're gonna use the stats, let's also use the stats of the fact that where are the men in the children's lives? I mean, that is just ultimately because the men.
But
What's
the
the
women
stat?
knew what type of men they was getting themselves into when they lay down and open up
Well,
their
we
lids.
agree.
So
I
what's that got
agreed
to
with.
do
I
with
actually agreed with that statement. I forgot who said it, but maybe it was you. No, it was Miss Guinea. I mean, it does. It does determine you picking the man, you choosing the man. Absolutely. But as I've said before on here, let's not take that responsibility or that put that accountability on the man because he is still the father.